Hi all, I am Sandeep and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to build one Agentic AI application for running SQL queries and also for interacting with the database. Let's dive in. So here we are going to build one Agentic AI app for running SQL or SQL queries and also interacting with the databases. And for this project, we are basically going to create one database, PostgreSQL database, which will be running locally inside a Docker container. And we're going to use Agno, Agno, previously which was known as Phidata. And also we'll be using SQL Tools. That is very important here. That is also part of the this Agno framework. And also we are going to use a Llama 4 LLM, Llama 4, which is the latest one. And we'll be using this Llama 4 model through Groq Cloud. For building the web, we are going to use Streamlit library in Python. So this SQL tools basically enables an AI agent to run various SQL queries and also interact with the database based on users' questions or queries. The user will be asking in user's language, just simple English language. And then based on that, our SQL agent will create one corresponding SQL query and run it, and then fetch the required data from the database based on the user's query. Okay, so first you have to install the Agno. So for installing the Agno, you have to just do pip install Agno and then also pip install MCP, because I have noticed that there is some dependency with the MCP also here for Agno framework. Previously, Agno was known as the Phidata, as you know. We have built a lot of agentic applications with Phidata, and this is just a couple of months back. They just rebranded it. The company also renamed it as Agno from the Phidata. So first you have to install the Agno, pip install Agno and pip install MCP. And then after that, this project requires us to install SQL Alchemy library. So pip install -u SQL Alchemy. This is for the SQL. So it also requires us to create a database. And we'll be using one PostgreSQL database running in a Docker container locally. So for creating this PostgreSQL database and also running it inside Docker container locally, you have to follow certain steps. Number one, install Docker desktop. Launch the Docker desktop. First install the Docker desktop, launch it and keep it running. Like here, as you can see, I installed the Docker desktop. Here it is, Docker desktop, and I just kept it running. I launched it and kept it running. So this is the first step. What is the second step? Second step is you have to open command prompt if you are on Windows, and you have to run this long command, this docker run -d -z progress and so on. Just copy and paste it and run it from the command prompt. I'll just explain each and every part of this command. So first one is docker run -d. So docker run -d, it basically starts a new Docker container from Docker image. From a given Docker image, it just starts a new Docker container. And then it runs the container in detached mode. So -d is for detached mode. That is, the detached mode means it will be running on the background. Then the second thing is -e Postgres DB is equal to AI. This environment variable basically configures the PostgreSQL database when the container starts. So here you have to specify certain things like user ID and password, etc. So here it creates a database named AI Inside the Docker container, it will create a database called AI. And we are setting the user ID and password as AI. Okay. Then it will set the default username and password for connecting to PostgreSQL. So next thing is -e pg data. So as you can see, there is a path /var/lib PostgreSQL data and pg data. It specifies the internal directory inside the Docker container. So that will be used by the PostgreSQL to store the data files. So inside the Docker container, it will create some folder with this path, and then PostgreSQL will be using to store the data files. Then there is something called -v pg volume, and then this path PostgreSQL data. It basically mounts a named Docker volume called pg volume to the container's PostgreSQL data directory. PostgreSQL data directory, it will mount a named Docker volume called pg volume, Docker volume for pg volume to the container's PostgreSQL data directory. It ensures data persistence. So even if the container stops, even if you container stop the Docker container, or if you delete the or remove the Docker container, still the data will remain there. So it ensures the data persistence. Then -p, then port number 5532 and 5432, 5532, 5432. So this is port mapping. So here 5532 is the host machine's port is mapped to 5432, which is basically container port 5432. So default PostgreSQL port is the 5432. This is a PostgreSQL port. Our host port is 5532. So when we connect to local host 5532, we are actually talking to the PostgreSQL server running inside the container, because it has been mapped to 5432. The next thing is dash name pg vector. Pg vector is basically the name of the container, Docker container, which is running. And then the Docker image that it has selected from the Phidata pg vector :16 Docker image. So it uses the Phidata /pg vector Docker image with the this is the tag :16. So it is based on the PostgreSQL 16. So based on this Docker image, it will basically create the run the Docker container. So that's all about the configuration or setup. I hope you understood it. And we'll be using Llama 4 LLM through Groq Cloud for this project. Okay. Now we'll launch the app and see it in action. But before that, let me tell you that it's a very simple application. And so in the app, as you can see, user just needs to enter the question or query based on what information he or she is looking for, or he or she wants to fetch from some database table. So then they just need to click on a button called Run Query. There will be a button called Run Query, and they just need to click on that. Our AI agent, with the help of SQL Tools, will run the corresponding. It will not only run, it will first create the corresponding SQL query based on the user's question or query, and then it will run the SQL query, and then it will fetch the required data from the database table and display it there. That's it. Now we'll launch the app and see it in action. Let's do that. So basically, this is the name of the script: Agno_AI agent SQL tools 1.py. Yeah, as you can see, AI app with SQL agent to run SQL queries and interact with database. And this is the query box. User can ask any question or query based on what he or she is looking for, looking to extract or fetch from the database table. So we'll test with some sample questions. First, list all the tables in the database and show me the content of the departments table. So it will first give the list of the table names, all the table names that we already have in this PG vector. And this PG vector, as you can see, it is running here. PG vector. That is the name of the container. And on the console also I can show you the command prompt also. If you do docker ps. So in my case it was already running, so I ran it a few hours back, this docker run with the enter command. And then after that, if you do docker ps, it will show you the container ID, then the image, docker image, the file data, PG vector colon 16, this one port number, etc. All these things, and the name of the this container, this PG vector. So list the tables in the database and show me the contents of the departments table. Let's run this query. Yeah, as you can see, results. The tables in the database are, there are 6 tables: recipes, resume, my table, departments, employees, PDF assistant. So I added all these tables over the time, but very recently I added these 2 tables, departments and employees, these 2. So we'll be dealing with these 2 tables only. The department tables contains the following columns. There are 2 columns. Left column is the department, right column is the division, corresponding division. And the content of the department table. So this is the first column, second column. The department clothing, then the corresponding division is the home. Then department grocery, corresponding division is home, etc. Similarly, under electronics division, there are 3 departments: computers, device repair, and phone tables, etc. So our next question is, from the user's perspective, please give me the departments that corresponds to the electronics division. So what are the departments that fall under electronics division? Okay. Please give me the department that correspond to electronics division or that fall under electronics division. Yeah. So it has correctly given the results. Results are departments that correspond to electronics division are computers, device repairs, phone and tablet. Next question. Please display the first 10 rows from employees table. Another table called employees that contains the records of employees of various departments of some company. So please display the first 10 rows from the employees table. Yeah, so it has shown in the display in the tabular format. So your employee ID, first name of the employee, last name, email ID, hire date, department, sports, gender, salary, region ID, and so on. The first 10 rows, these are correctly displayed. So our next question is, please give me the first name of all the female employees who work for sports department. Please give me the first names of female employees who work for sports department. Let's run this query. I am unable to execute the task as it exceeds the limitations of the functions I have at hand. Some limitations or maybe some. So we'll try it again. So let me refresh and run it. Please give me the first name of female employees who work in sports department. Let's run this query. Let's see if it works. Yeah, this time it has worked. These are the first names, just first names of female employees. All the female employees who work for the sports department are correctly it has listed here. So as you can see, it's pretty useful, handy, and like you can just write the queries or question in your own language, English language, in user's language. Just it doesn't need to be SQL query, but it will convert it to a equivalent SQL query and run it, and it will fetch the data for you from the database table and display it for you. That's it. It's very useful, as you can see. Now I'll briefly explain you the code. So it's simple Python code, and as you can see, first we are importing the necessary libraries, etc. Agno.agent, import agent class, and then agno.tools.sql, then SQL Tools class import. So we need agent, we need SQL Tools, then agno.models.groq. We need to import the Groq, because through Groq only we'll be using the Llama 4 model LLM. Then from .env, load .env for environment variables, and then Streamlit library we need. Then we are loading all the environment variables. And this is very important, the database URL. You need to specify the database URL. So it is, the convention is like the PostgreSQL plus psychopg colon / name of the database table, that is the AI colon AI, the user and password, etc. The PostgreSQL plus psychopg colon / colon then the @ localhost. So we are running locally localhost and the local port number 5532/AI. Okay, so username, name of the database AI, name of the user ID is AI, password AI, everything is AI. Yeah, something that's a mistake. Yeah. So AI colon AI @ localhost colon 5532 port number /AI. So DB database URL. After that, this part I have commented out, because if you want to add any new table, so you can do that easily. So I'll just show you the way to how to do that. So for that, you have to follow certain steps. I'll just show you. I'll uncomment and show you. Then it will be clearly visible to you. Uncomment. I'll just uncomment it. Yeah, so SQL tool equal to SQL tools, and then you have to specify this database URL. Okay. After that, if you are familiar with the SQL commands, then create table query equal to, you have to store it that thing in a variable called create table query, and then use triple quote. Use triple quote and then create table department, all these things. Department, varchar, divisions, primary key, all these things, and then insert into departments table, the department values, and like that your data. Then add, you have to end it with the table quote again. So create table query, and then you have to just 1 second, I'll show you. Yeah, then you have to run it. I'll just uncomment and show you. Then SQL underscore tool dot run SQL, just run SQL, and then create table query. You have to pass that create table query, this one. Pass the create table query, and then if you just run it, it will add this new table, create this new table. Sorry. Then this is our main function, SQL underscore agent. So agent equal to agent class, the model equal to, we are using Llama 4 model through Groq Cloud, as you can see. We have specified tools equal to only one tool, that is SQL tools. And within the bracket, you have to parenthesis, you have to specify the database URL, DB URL. Okay, that's it. Then output equal to agent.run, then, and you have to pass this query, this user's query, and markdown equal to true. And then return output.content. That's it, very simple. Then it will return the results. And this, the front end part is written Streamlit, as you can see, AI app with the SQL agent to run SQL queries and interact with the database. And here we are adding a nice logo here, and then just changing some fonts, making some adjustment with the fonts, etc. Then here we are user is giving the input text input, user is giving query, we are storing the query in the as specified by the users here in the query, and then after that we are adding one button called this run query. So as soon as user will click on the run query, then it will call this function SQL underscore agent and pass this query, and then it will get the result and display the results. That's it. Simple code. So that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. If you like, please give a quick thumbs up. That will motivate me, encourage me further to create more such videos, interesting videos for you in near future. And please also do subscribe my channel if not yet done. Please also write your comments or feedback. Yeah, please find some time to write your comments or feedback. And uh, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Take care. Bye.